Hello everyone. In this series I'll explain you about standard logging library. We are already familiar with and used console.log many times to print things to the console, is it? But usually for larger projects we will need more advanced functionality to differentiate between debug logs and error logs, is it? For example, in Deno you can do this using standard logging library. I'll show you how to do that. First thing, we'll have to import the library. So I'll show you how to do that. Import star as log from https deno.land, again from the standard library, from log mod.ts file. Okay, this is how we'll import this library, and we can use a function like log.info. So for example, if we wanted to say downloading rocket data, this is how we do that. So I'll show you log.info. We'll pass in the string saying downloading rocket data, we'll say downloading rocket data. Okay, data prior to making this fetch request. Okay, now we know that request is about to be made to download the list of rockets data. I'll show you how do we do that. Let's go ahead and run and see how this works. Load net. We have to pass in the specific URL SpaceX data.com and the file name. You see the message saying that info you see the message here, downloading launch data, right? You see the message downloading rocket data. Okay, and how do we know if our HTTP request was succeeded or not? With this end API. So I'll show you how to do that. We can check by using the response.ok. If response.ok property on the response object, so we can say, and if this is true, that means HTTP code written from the request is in the 200 range. I'll show you the status codes. This is the status code. Successful response is between 200 range, and then the informational response is 100 to 199 range. You probably should be knowing this response. So what happens if the response code failed? I'll minimize this. I'll just say what if not response.ok. We can throw an error saying, this is how we throw the error, throw new error and pass in the string saying rocket data download failed. So seeing you error, but we can also log that error, and we don't necessarily want this to look the same as an informational message. I'll show you how to do that. Log dot warning rocket data download failed. So the Deno provides us the log.warning logger to warn us of an issue in the code. So we can say problem downloading the launch data or the rocket data download failed. So in Node.js we would have a large packages like Winston to help us with logging tasks like this. I'll show you this. The Winston. In Node.js we probably use this package to some external service like a log aggregation service. Well, the great news is that Deno comes with all of this functionality in the log module. So if we go to the standard library and the log module, this is the standard library, we can see in the documentation that it has 5 different log levels that it provides. So from the lowest priority we have debug, to the highest priority we have critical, and we can use this log, that setup function here, to configure our logger. We can specify a console logger and the minimum log level to show in that log, or we can specify the file handler where anything below a warning will not be shown, and it's going to be the output to the log to the next text with the text format. We can use this to color code. We can use this to the color code or input by what type it is, or we can use even more advanced functionality like log rotation. The log rotation, this is one. So once a log goes past a certain size, you can archive and compress it and move a new logs to a new file. So this comes very handy when you are working on production systems with the larger projects which can generate gigabytes of logs over time and eventually fill up your disk space. Is it? Okay. How does this look when we run it? I'll show you an example. Let's go ahead and copy this code and paste it over here. Let's remove this file. This is not necessary for time being. And let's remove this too. Remove file. So this is in the debug mode. Well, let me go ahead and run this. You see the blue code info downloading launch data, right? But also we could also, for example, go back and configure logger using this is how we'll use the logger function. And you saw the output to the console, how it showed. So if we do this, we should see the exact same behavior. I'll show you. I'll change this to warning. And over here I'll just say log dot problem downloading launch rocket data. Okay. Let me go and save and run this program. Oops, I see some error. Oops, it should be in the capital letters. Okay, let me rerun this. You see warning problem failed. Problem with downloading data. You see the yellow color message over here. Warning problem downloading raw. This seems pretty cool, is it? This is not something that Node.js came out of box with it. And Deno is making our life pretty nice by making this standard feature available native for us. Thank you guys. Thanks for watching. That's it for this video. See you in the next one.